welcome to Rom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to the, oh, I see that I'm doing something wrong, to the second race, to the race of the Automobilista 2 Community Club at Community Cup. Man, at Kansai, and I say it with air quotes because, of course, this is called Kansai in Automobilista 2, but it's you'll see which one it is. With me today again, not Ike, cause he's got a heavy cold. I hope you're doing well, Ike, and he was telling me today he made himself into a burrito so that he would get warm and comfy. Not Ike, but again, the wonderful Mets. Hi, how are you, mate?
Hi, sir. I'm very well, thank you, and thank you once again for inviting me back to stand in for Ike. Who's, I wish him a speedy recovery, and I'm sure he'll be back for the next race.
That's what we all hope, not because we don't want to hear you, you're still invited to come here, but because he'll be well again. So we have these Porsches which are simulating the Porsches from 1974, and we were commentating before the broadcast started. They are quite slidey boys, and you're gonna be seeing the drivers sliding around a lot.
Yeah, they move about a hell of a lot, don't they? I mean, these drivers, like, you know, these are the cream of the AMS2 community, I think. They're going to show us just what they can do with these. They're quite difficult cars to handle, I think, and with these guys, they're going to be they're moving about quite a lot.
Yeah, and that's realistic. Anyone who's had ever the, let's call it, pleasure to drive a Porsche will know that Porsches, even nowadays, are not easy to drive if you put them to the limit. Of course, if you're just an old guy moving it around at normal speeds, you won't notice that, but when you get it, there we go, we're seeing it already. When you put them to the limit, they are quite something. Also, during the race, the driving characteristics of the Porsches are gonna change, as well, the tank is gonna get emptier and emptier, and that's gonna be changing everything. For those who have not ever seen the races of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup, just a quick explanation. We have 7 communities that race Automobilista 2. All can send 3 drivers. The best 2 of the drivers of the of every race from every community are the ones who are taken care when compiling the that's some sliding, when compiling the points for the community, and at the end of a lot of races, 8 as far as we are expecting, we will have a winning community, a second and a third, and we at Rom liked the first season so much that we said, hey, we want to support this, we want to make it a little bit juicy, so the community on first place is gonna get a €50 Steam voucher, the community with at second place is gonna get a €30 Steam voucher, and the community at third place is gonna get a €20 Steam voucher to divide as they think. We're gonna discuss them. We're gonna discuss that with the communities at the end of that. And one specialty and one thing that makes the Automobilista 2 Community Cup so very interesting is at every race, the drivers drive different cars at different tracks. Last race it was Super V8s at Bathurst, which was very fitting. This race, as you can see, it's Porsches from 1974 at what Automobilista 2 needs to call Kansai, but for all intents and purposes it's Suzuka.
just looking at the times at the moment, it's the usual suspects at the front. We expect to see them on the front row. I think Dan, Drew, Blank Farm, Grandpa Bear is going to be pushing them, I think. But I think Dan and Drew are going to be the quickest. Just an educated guess, just by like the practice, and I know that Drew, like you say, he's a master in these cars, in any car to be fair. But I know Dan personally has put in a lot of time. So from an unbiased point of view, I'm looking forward to a really good race. But obviously, being the team MVRC, team boss if you like, I really want to see MVRC do well after our bad luck we had in the last race.
Let's see how they do on the race. By the way, I can show you the team standings. So we have KCSR on first position, AMSU on second. This is no change from the standings as they were at the beginning of the Bathurst race. But as Mets was saying, now we have RPM on third and an NRT on fourth. MVRC, who were third before Bathurst, have dropped down to fifth. And let's see if they can get it again. KCSR are already getting quite the gap to the second place AMSU, but it's still possible to get them if, for example, AMSU repeats the good results they've been having. So let's see what happens. But the KCSR drivers are really good, so let's see if they also can get a hold of the Porsches.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said in the last race, KCSR were the yardstick that we all compare ourselves to, and do you know what I mean? And getting up to their kind of pace, their consistency, I think all the teams are. But AMSU are pushing them really well. We kind of, you know, like I say, we're the new boys. We're trying to put up a decent fight. But you know, I don't want to say it's over because obviously there's still a few races to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But KCSR are they were probably pre-championship favourites, and they've lived up to that billing.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the fourth of 8 races, so there's still a lot. Yeah, he gets it under control, but
he just caught that.
Yeah, that was close.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that tonight, Serto, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And I have no problem with seeing it as long as nobody suffers from it, because if you slide into another, you may end your and the other driver's race, which is not what you want.
Yeah, that won't be good. But yeah, these drivers are at the top of their game. They'll be in control of the cars, I think.
Yeah, still, it's not easy to keep these cars on track, especially when you're putting them on the limit. I did a couple of test races just to be able to tell you how these cars behave on this track, and goodness, it was a steady battle against the wheel to keep the car where you want it pointed. And one thing that is especially difficult with this car on this track is the moment you get into the dirt, be it grass or gravel, it gets difficult to get the car again onto the track. So there's gonna be some of that too here.
Without a doubt. I mean, with this car, there is so much counter steering. There really is, just to keep it going straight.
Yeah, you're like, come on, give me that. Yeah.
And also tyres. Tyres are going to be a big issue tonight because just in testing, a few of the guys have commented that you can get a really nice push lap, but the tyres really suffer. So it might be a lot of push lap, then 2 or 3, like cool down laps. You certainly won't be able to push it literally every lap because the tyres would just scream.
Yeah. By the way, there is no pit stop enforced, but you will have to save a lot of fuel if you want to survive without refueling. And as you were saying, the tires. So there's a lot of strategy option here. If you are good at saving your tires and are good at saving fuel, you may be able to do the whole race without going into pits. On the other hand, a pit stop just for tires is gonna take you about 29 seconds because it's 22 seconds to get into pits and out of pits, plus 7 seconds just to do splash and dash. If you change tires, then it's gonna be like half a minute or longer. So you either press hard and don't care about tires and fuel, and then you're gonna be able to get the race. Oh no, you need to be able to get ahead by at least 30 seconds, which is not gonna be easy. Or you go on a conservative way of driving, you save as much fuel as you can while still being competitive, you save as much tires as you can while being competitive, and then you don't go into pits and gain 30 seconds, which is not a small amount. So let's see how the drivers are gonna be doing that.
I'll be very surprised if anyone manages to save enough fuel. But like we say, like Drew is
I was gonna say
at fuel saving.
Yeah.
But I'll be very surprised if I would say the majority will at least pit for fuel. But we'll see. We'll see how the race develops. And like I say, looking after tyres and looking after fuel and being competitive, that's a triple threat that not a lot of people have got, I don't think.
Yeah, absolutely. And to support any kind of strategy, I think the pit window opens 5 minutes after the race. Or after start of the race, I mean. So even if you get a slide on one of these slidey boys and have to enter for repairs after those 5 minutes, you can use that to change tires and refuel.
Yeah, like you said at the top there, the way this race has been set up, it opens up so many strategy options,
Yeah. So we have finished qualifying. We are in the overtime of the qualifying. And if those are the results of qualifying, they are very interesting, because Dan Lewis from NVRC is on first, Drew Face from the KCSR is on second, Rocco Thamanoidis of RPM on third, Blankfile from KCSR on fourth, and Jim from the AMSU on fifth. That's a good mix. We're gonna see some action here.
Yeah, that's a great grid. I mean, look at the times, all the way down to sort of P19 have all broken 220, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, and we have two on the 216, Dan and Drew. 216 with a Porsche on Suzuka, and we have a Porsche going wild on screen right now. Wibbledy. So we have 2 on 216. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 217. Oh, not bad at all. I'm checking. The first independent is Freak at 10th position, if I see it correctly. Then we have Deadline, who's repeating. He's a repeat offender. He liked it so much, he's trying to get into any of these races at 13th. You were saying?
Yeah, as I say, it's a very competitive qualifying there. Like I say, just like, you know, the top 19 have all broken 220. I struggled to get to 220. I think I've done 220 once in about 30 laps.
So, Dan Lewis, Drewface, Rocco, Blankfile, Jim, J-Turn on 1st to 5th after the qualifying. That's gonna be interesting. We're gonna be racing 1 hour. The weather is real weather, but the day that these drivers are racing is either is any day in the last 30 days. So take a look at how the weather was at Suzuka, and then we'll be able to tell you more. And between now qualifying and the race, there's going to be about 5 minutes of pause to allow for any driver to get a drink or get rid of the drink that they had or whatever they need, so that they can concentrate a whole hour on this fantastic Automobilista 2 Community Cup race. So, race starts in 3 minutes. That's what race controllers told.
I can't wait.
Come again?
I can't wait. I can't wait for the start. It's just it's a really exciting race.
Especially as one of yours is on 1st position, huh?
Of course. Completely unbiased commentary, though.
Absolutely. By the way, just using the time here to tell you that the next Automobilista 2 Community Cup race is going to be on the 8th of November with F309s at Spielberg. And the next race on our channel is going to be on a Sunday, the Evolution Racing Academy on Assetto Corsa Competizione, racing at Misano Adriatico, on wet. It's gonna be raining for sure. And I was reading the comments on the Discord of the Evolution Racing Academy, and they were all hating it, or better no, loving it, because they hate it so much. Misano on the wet is not an easy track. Misano is not an easy track, and on the wet is even more difficult. Matt, you've ever raced on Misano?
I have. I really enjoy it. I think it's a really nice circuit. I mean, I've only driven it on ACC, but I really like it. It's got some technical bits. It's got a, I just I struggle with ACC initially, but that, and believe it or not, Hungaroring are my favourite tracks in ACC.
You know what? I normally don't like Hungaroring, but yeah, on ACC it's got something. Well, I suppose it's not because of ACC, but because of the cars. It's got some flow that you don't get with other on other sims or with other cars. So yeah,
no, I completely agree. It's got some flow, but it's quite technical as well, and I quite like that.
Yeah. But if you tell me Hungaroring or Misano, I tell you Misano every time. Like, absolutely.
Right, here we go.
Race is about to start. If you can turn the tower from... Thank you. Perfect. So remind me again, do we have a lap before we start? No. We go on to the race.
Yeah, straight
directly,
up. Don't think
right?
there's any.
Yeah.
There's no warm up lap. I don't think.
Another thing that is also great is how much love and work the drivers put into the liveries. Remember, they have to do a livery for their cars for every race because we have a new car at every race.
Yeah, the livery creators are absolutely fantastic and very imaginative in some of them as well.
They're having so much fun. So in theory, the race should have started already. They're still waiting for somebody. Let me check. Nope, the Discord doesn't say anything.
Yeah, it might be in the setup phase. Here we go.
Porsche 1910 here. Oh, did we see false start? There were a couple moving before they started. And Dan Lewis keeps first position, as does Drew Face, Blank File, Rocco at the front, everything as it was.
Just looking back through the grid, I think everyone's got away cleanly.
Blank File has overtaken Rocco Thomanoidis, and now we have Drew Face and Blank File on second and third. Oh, did we have an issue at the back? I think we had. I think KB from NRT got some problems. Yeah.
Oh no.
There we go. There we go.
Let's get back up to the front.
Yeah. Dan Lewis and Drew Face still keeping position. Oh, this one is very dangerous. They've left the track often enough at that part of the track. Yeah. Oh, no. Eee.
Well saved there by Blank.
Yeah, but Rocco could not profit from that.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
thought Rocco just got up there, but I think he just backed out probably sensibly, actually, with the car going a little bit sideways from Blank File there.
You prefer not to stand in the way of a car that has lost control. Ooh, and you can see how the drivers are working to keep the car on track and on the track.
We've got Dan Lewis almost a second ahead of Drew at the moment.
Wow, that's saying something. Whoop.
Quite
And
wide there from Drew.
Yeah, and from Blank File who lost position to Rocco because of that.
Yeah, Rocco. Oh, they're dropping back quite a lot as well, aren't they? 4 seconds back.
So they may... No, I was gonna say they may be on a different strategy, but it seems that Dan and Drew are just on another level, on another galaxy.
They really are at the moment. Dan really stretching his legs there, 2.5 up on Drew Face, which is good news for MVRC supporters, and probably good news for the rest of the Community Cup racers. Someone other than KCSR topping the charts at the moment.
Especially somebody being able to keep Drew Face behind. I mean, that's already a big feat, because Drew Face has been excellent in all the races until now. Not that he's not excellent now, but it seems that Dan is even more excellent. True, Darwin. Very, very true. Sometimes that's an... keeping it. That's for sure an issue that Automobilista 2 has in multiplayer, that sometimes the lights are not green at the same time for everyone. This is normally an issue when drivers come later, but I think all the drivers were in at the same time. So how are we doing? Dan almost 2 seconds away from Drew. Rocco 7 seconds away from Dan. Wow. All in all, other than the small issue at the beginning, a very clean race.
We've got a gaggle of cars here, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh, a bit touchy.
Yeah, but they survived it seems.
That's what we want to see. We don't mind a bit of door banging as long as both cars are still on the track.
Yep.
It's a great first couple of laps from Dan Lewis. 2.5 seconds up on Drew Face at the moment, but like you say, there could be strategy at play here.
Oh, and we see some very nice... Oh, somebody... And Freak, he didn't lose control, but he
rescued it.
Yeah. And was it Il Noodle had some issue on the brakes, he locked. But everything still within parameters. But the way these guys are driving, I don't think anybody is trying to save fuel or tires.
No. I think trying to save tyres in this car is almost an impossibility, but there's some top drivers here, so you just don't know, do you?
Absolutely. But I think if Drew ever had the aspiration of saving tires and fuel, he just forgot and went for first place.
The thing is, if he's on a completely different strategy to Dan, you have got to be so disciplined to stick to your strategy when you can see someone going ahead and moving away from you. He's 3 seconds down now, and it's just having that discipline to stay in your strategy. So it'd be interesting to see what strategy, if at all, that differs from Dan's.
Yeah. When they go into pits, how long they stay in pits, and so on. That's gonna be interesting to see. So first Dan Lewis, then Drew, 4 seconds away, then Rocco, 11 seconds away from Drew Face. And what we didn't see, J-Turn got 4th place from Blankfile. Blankfile dropping into 5th. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, this.
And what? Can we check Blankfile? Something must have happened there.
Oh, it's Blankfile.
Yeah. He got out because he's dropped to 8th.
Yeah, when the cars are running this close, there's going to be a lot of changes in order, because, like you say, in one corner, you can literally lose the car and lose like half a dozen places.
But still, Blankfile has lost 4 places. because of that issue. I mean, he's still running and his car doesn't look dinged at all, so that's good. I don't think he has any damage, other maybe to his ego, but that's a different thing. So what do we have? Evil Noodle getting in between. Okay, can we check Grandpa Bear? Yeah, he seems to have had an issue because he dropped 2 places. 3 even. And is now behind blank file.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard to keep on top of the action here because the cars are so they move about so much.
Yeah.
Like, unless you stay with a particular group of cars to see it, it's going to be so hard. I mean, I will try and hunt out the action, but like I say, it's going to be hard to try and keep on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely understandable.
Yeah, so have a look a little bit further down the grid. Tinez, he's right on top of Shikats.
Battle for 16th. And nope, Tinez is looking around.
Tex from KCSR, he's down in P11 at the moment.
Can we check Jay at 4th, because he's quite near to Rocco. Yeah, near, but not yet near enough. Let's see. Interesting.
Yeah, Noodle just behind Jay Turner as well.
Yeah.
Good little battle development now.
We have a good mix of communities. We have MVRC, KCSR, RPM, AMSU, LNR, and then an independent. And then we got the first repetition with blank file of KCSR at 7th. So that's... This race is mixing things up.
Yeah, it's good to see so many different communities in the first sort of 6 or 7 places.
It also shows the great quality of the communities.
Absolutely. Like I've said it in the last race. These are, I think, probably the cream of the AMS2 community right now that are racing.
Let's not forget, AMSU already drove Automobilista like crazy, and they do drive Automobilista 2 like crazy, and Jay is the initiator of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup, so yeah, they are very much sold to Automobilista 2 for good reason.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously they do so much for this title, this sim racing title. I hesitate there. I was almost called it a game. I'd have been shot if I'd said it's a game.
No, only flogged. On live stream. So we see Jay trying to find a way around Rocco, which has helped Evil Noodle to come very near to Jay. And behind that we have Freak being very difficult to blank file, as he's only 0.3 of a second away. So there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot of battles all the way down the grid. If you look, there's always like sort of 2 or 3 or 4 cars within like a second or so of each other.
Great driving, great racing, great fun. And as I said,
it's a really good battle, this.
Yeah. And as I said, keeping these cars on track is difficult enough. Keeping them on track when you are trying to get to the max is even more difficult. And do we see something here? No. Jay keeps still at the back of Rocco, but he's trying to find a way around.
He's actually seeing Drew's 6.5 seconds back. I mean, it's great to see for me, but
but it's surprising.
They've got to be on different strategies, I'm sure of it. I mean, I know Dan's quick, but Drew's quick as well, and it's just not something we're used to, seeing Drew 7 seconds back.
Maybe Drew is saving
Yeah, this
tires.
is the thing. I think he's saving fuel as well. I think there's completely different strategies at play here.
We'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting to see, of course. Oh! Rocco goes off track, and of course that's the opportunity for Jay to get his place, and Rocco wants to get his place back. Ah, this is a very nice battle the way it continues. And Rocco is gonna have to be looking at the front and at the back at the same time, because Evil Noodle is quite near to him. And can we check Freak places 6 and 7? Because there's also... yeah, he's... Oh! The minute I say it, Grandpa takes the short way around him and gets into the 7th position. Interesting. We have also battles for 15th, for 18th, battles everywhere. This is a really good and really interesting race.
It's all the way through the grid, isn't it? There's like, like this battle here. You know, it's a 4-way battle here. Amor, De Blind, Tex, and Flying Hall Kick.
Can we check a 5th position, Evil Noodle? Because Jay has now been able to take off at least 1 second, but Evil Noodle, maybe because Evil Noodle is behind Rocco all the time. Oh, what happened there? I think Blank File had a moment. Yeah, seems so. Blank File seems to not like these Porsches very much, or the Porsches don't like him very much. One of both, because he's having a moment here and there, and we're not accustomed to see that from this driver.
No, absolutely not. These cars are an absolute handful. They really are.
If any of you on the broadcast want to test it, go ahead. It's not an easy car. And on Suzuka is even more difficult, as I've said, this is a difficult track for a car that loves to slide as much as this Porsche from 1974 does. Rocco's still being... Go ahead.
So it's a good little 4-way battle we got going on here for 11th, 10th, 9th and 8th. Evil Noodle and Rocco, they're really close again.
Yeah. Let's change to those. No, that's not even Noodle. Or is it? Ah, yeah, that's... The way Jay was trying all the time, now Evil Noodle is trying to find a way around Rocco. And Rocco's making the car as broad as it can be. And these cars have big behinds. Oh, now almost at his side.
Get a little outbreaking maneuver into T1 here.
Okay, both being very good. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think he got him.
Yeah, nice clean pass there.
Yeah. And very, very tight, both cars. But that shows the quality of these drivers. Keep it respectful, but still. And you can see on all the images how much these cars are prone to slide and how much the drivers have to work.
Just right on board of our leader just for a second. He's almost 9 seconds clear of Drew Face.
As you were saying, the question is why and how.
It could be lower fuel, or he could just be fast around here in this car. I know this car does suit Dan. He likes a car that moves about a lot. But he did say that he was struggling with the you could push a lap or two, but then you'd have to calm down a little bit just to let the rear tires come back to you a bit more.
Well, he seems to like the slidey car a lot, and the car seems to like him a lot because he's doing a great race.
Yeah, but looking at his look at the way he's driving, he does look quite smooth rather than it's Dan's usual style is to drift it around the corners and get the back end flicking out. But he looks quite smooth.
Still, he may be doing that, but the way this car is made, and maybe he's also worked on the setup. It looks smooth because he just gives it enough drift to turn. Oh, and the minute we're saying we jinxed it.
Commentator's curse there. It's our commentator's curse.
I think I'm gonna shut up now. Just not to jinx his race.
This is intriguing, this battle. Grandpa Bear now has closed up on Evil Noodle and Rocco. Grandpa Bear is now joining this battle for P4.
Grandpa Bear always say, no, don't mind me, but he's a better driver than he thinks.
He's a great driver.
As time
to be fair, but Grandpa Bear is you can't underestimate him.
Yep. Like on the first race, he had some issues keeping the car under control, but on every other race since then, he's been fantastic.
Very consistent.
Ooh, and you saw there how he had to correct the steering to keep the car going where he wanted it to. So let's go to Blankfile on position 8 because he's trying to be dangerous to Freak. Of course, he's trying to get back to where he was on 4th position, which is gonna be difficult, but... So we are a little bit over 20 minutes into this race, still 40 minutes to go. I gather in the next 5 minutes we're gonna be seeing the first drivers going into pits.
So I keep going back to this battle. It's a freeway battle.
Oh, absolutely.
Grandpa Bear, Evil Noodle, Rocco. It's they're 3 incredibly good racers, and there we go.
A
little
bit.
touch there? I don't know.
Yeah, but nothing to write home about. Just
nothing to write home about. Just a little bit of a love tap.
Yep. Yeah, we have battles like this year between Evil Noodle, Grandpa Bear, and Blankfile. We have battles for 8th. We have battles for 9th. We don't know where to put the camera.
It's all the way through the grid. There's at least a battle, in the top 20. There's a battle, but I think this is the most intriguing one on track at the moment. But then P12 to P9, that's a good battle as well.
Yeah. Tons of action going on.
Maybe ask in your chat if anybody wants to have a look at any particular driver that's involved in a battle. We'd be happy to try and accommodate.
Oh yeah, go ahead, chat. Let us know if you want to see any specific battle other than the one that we are watching, and we can drop there because there's battles everywhere. Tons of action going on here. And quite respectful action. I was expecting, because of the car, not because of the drivers, that there would be more dinging around and more issues, but yeah, a couple of them have left the track for a moment, but
look at this battle. Whole kick, Debline and Tex all on 34s.
Nice.
Like literally within half a second of each other.
And it's a battle for 9th. And you see them all trying to find a way around left, right, where do I put it? Oh. No. It cannot make it stick. Okay, look.
Battle.
Yeah, Hawking looked for a second as if he was about to get the best of Debline, but nope, he didn't.
Let's have a look into T1, and then we're going to have a look at the battle for...
Oh, somebody locked.
Look up.
But nothing to write home about. But I think somebody is going to be needing new tires sometime soon.
I think so. But I just don't know. It's so hard because the strategy is so open. It's really hard to try and it's almost guesswork, isn't it? When you think someone's going to come in for tyres, if someone can look after their tyres a lot longer, if they can save their fuel a lot longer. As we've already alluded to, Drew is the absolute maestro at fuel saving, and I don't know. I can't call it. I mean, look at this battle again. We're going to have to go back to Grandpa Bear. Because the battle he's got going with Evil Noodle and Rocker, and we come back just at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, the chat said, let's take a look at the battle for 17th.
Yeah, like we were just there with...
Yeah, absolutely.
Slow and She-Cats. We'll try and get to anyone whatever we can. I mean,
but here,
at the moment, this battle,
we have Grandpa Bear taking the place of Evil Noodle. Evil Noodle went a little bit too wide, and Grandpa Bear said, "Thank you very much."
He opened the door and he stepped through it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's go. It's right on board with Nessie, P20. So this is the battle for 17th. We're trying to cover everything, Jonathan. I do agree with you that, but when there's battles, I mean, look, that battle for 4th at the moment is just so close. And I realise the battle for P17 is just as close, and we will try and cover as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, we're trying to keep an eye at the timings. Let's go to 9th, Debline, as he's got Blankfile and Flying Hawkegg and Andy Moore behind him. Sheesh.
At this rate, we kind of need 3 directors.
Yeah.
Looking after each individual battle at the moment.
Well, I mean, on big races, when you have a big team, you have one person following each and every driver, and the moment something interesting happens, that person is getting the information to the camera director, so that that person can decide.
I know it's incredible. You've got Paddy and Roy having a great battle. You've got Nessie, Captain Slow, Raptor, She-Cats having an amazing battle, 4-way battle there. You've got a battle with Jin, Chrissy. You've got a battle with Tina.
No, he's keeping it. Oof, that was close.
Yeah. You've got this battle here, Flying Hawkegg, Andy Moore, Blankfile, Debline and Tex. It's a 5-way battle here. And then of course you've got Evil Noodle, Grandpa Bear, Rocco, and J-Turn. They're catching J-Turn a little bit here. P4 to P6.
Well, a little bit. I mean, Rocco is 4 seconds away from J-Turn, so...
I think it's closed the gap a little bit more than that.
Okay, no, yeah,
seconds.
yeah, it's the issue. It's the issue that SimHub sometimes has, that
Yeah, no, I
gets the information wrong. Yeah, true that. So Drew is 16 seconds away from Dan. Whoa. They are on a different.
No, it's I've got it 10 seconds, 9 seconds away.
Yeah, it's jumping around.
Yeah, 9.5 seconds away from Dan at the moment.
But I agree with you, they must be on different strategies.
Yeah, they've got to be. I think Drew's saving a bit of fuel here as much as he can.
Yeah.
His tyres, but then, like, you know, we drove on board with Dan for a lap, and he seemed really smooth. Drew at the moment seems really smooth, but then he does in every race that he races in.
Yeah.
But I think a little bit back further through the grid, the cars are moving about a lot more than the front two.
Let's go back to Grandpa Bear because he's quite near to Rocco. There we go. Oh, that's cutting the corners very, very short.
I think the track limits at Kansai are very generous, I would say.
They are. I mean, you don't know where to put your eyes. Let's go for a second to 7th. Look at that. I mean,
it is just a nightmare trying to keep track of all of these battles.
Yeah.
They're absolutely amazing.
They are within a second of each other. That's fantastic. Like places 7, 8, 9, and 10, and even 11 are within a second of each other. Blink it. Oh, and do we see? And Grandpa Bear just took Rocco's place once again while we were not looking. What's interesting is that Jay is keeping quite tight on 3rd place. Go. Evil Noodle has lost a lot of positions. Did he have a moment somewhere? Not positions, time. Sorry. Oh, Flying Hockey goes to 9th. Ah, okay. See, I was saying we would be seeing some of them. Let's go to 6th. Oh, 10th. What happened? Yeah, Tex lost control, and that was the opportunity for
the blind.
Yeah.
Going up to P6. So there's been a couple of pit stops here, haven't there? So
yeah. And the thing is, contrary to other races where you know everyone is going into pits and everyone is gonna be changing tires and refueling, you don't know here. Some may only do a splash and dash. Yeah, absolutely.
It is so hard to call. You just don't know what strategy the races. I mean, I don't even know what the MVRC boys' strategy are doing, because it changes, and also it can change during the race, can't it?
And even if you knew, you wouldn't tell.
Of course.
So we are, let me check, a little bit over, no, we are half an hour into the race. So we are at the middle of the race with Dan Lewis keeping his 1st place, Drew keeping his 2nd place, J getting into 3rd position. Grandpa Bear on 4th position. AMSU are doing it again. I mean, where was it? 2 races ago. They did, I think, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Oh, is Jay in pits? Yeah.
Yeah, Jay Turn is making his first pit stop.
Oh, getting a lot of fuel.
Yeah.
And so to speak, losing positions. We don't know what that means because, as we've been saying,
lots of pit stops happening now. So until the pit stops shake themselves out, it's really hard to. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Interesting to see what Dan and Drew do. How different their pit stops will be.
And lots of fuel, and there we go. So, when do you think will the last pit stop take place? I would say some are gonna be trying to stretch it until 45 minutes into the race, 40 to 45 minutes, and then do some real pressure with absolutely new tires. What do you think?
Again, I just think it's so hard to call it. It would literally be guesswork because we're not used to seeing, for one, we're not used to seeing Drew being this far behind in second. So I think we both know that he's probably saving a lot of fuel. So his pit stop is going to be significantly shorter than Dan's. But it's like I said, it's maintaining that discipline when you're seeing the person in front of you. Like Dan's now 11 seconds in front. If Drew is on this massive fuel saving strategy, then this is a proper exhibition.
I mean, imagine if he does not go into pits at all.
This is what I'm saying. It could be that he's going to do this mega save of fuel. And it will be an absolute masterstroke because at the moment Dan is showing him a clean pair of heels.
Yeah.
Grandpa Bear is now in the pits.
All right. Rocco will be happy.
Yeah, but I think Rocco will be in soon. They've had a ding-dong battle, haven't they? Rocco, Blank, and Evil Noodle, J-Turn. They've had such a battle.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the battles are going to continue quite soon.
Literally right to the end, I think the battles are going to be... we're not going to be able to rest at all, I think, sir. So I think we're going to be flicking... look at AMSU now, look. 8th, 9th, 10th in formation again.
Yeah. And thing is, if you're a driver, you can never be sure, is it a good idea to overtake? Is he gonna go into pits into the next one? Should I pressure? Should I not pressure? And that's by design. This race has been designed in a way that the drivers can take a lot of different strategies and therefore make the race even more interesting than these races normally are.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that this race and the strategy is so open, I think it's going to be... it's just compelling viewing, isn't it? You can't take your eyes off the grid at all.
So, how long is the race? The race is planned for an hour. Oh, and by the way, we're seeing nice weather all around. No rain yet. So the race, all races of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup are planned for a full hour. And we are a little bit over 30 minutes into the race.
How even would it be if we all started doing a little bit of a rain dance? Can you imagine these cars in the rain?
I try not to. It's gonna be something special. I mean, we had, which one was it? the Class B cars, or what was it?
Is it Velocita?
Velocita, exactly. Yeah, yeah, and that was in the rain, and those were already difficult to handle. These here,
Really difficult.
oof. And who's going into pits?
Going to the
Tinnis.
pits, De Bruyne in the pits.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting to see what they both come out, if they come out together. Martinez is on his way.
So Rocco is not gone yet into pits. Neither has Drew or Dan.
Now the top three have not pitted yet.
Yeah. We're about 35 minutes into the race. So yeah, every lap, one or two of the drivers go into pits, but the others continue. Completely different strategies for every driver. And for now, as far as I could see, none of them had to go into pits for repairs. I was gonna say let's go watch J-Turn against Grandpa Bear, but of course they're not gonna be fighting each other.
There won't be no massive fight there, I don't think.
Nope. But let's check 13th and 14th, Debline and Andy Moore.
Already on it, mate. Already on it.
Alright. And we got a floating car once again. Oh, come on.
Future bug.
This is a known bug, and yeah, it's got to do with pit stops and netcode and too many things. So let's go to 19th, 20th, 21st are all quite near to each other. It's Roy, Captain Slow, and Savage Paddy. All three independent. Roy is driving as an independent today.
An MVRC driver guesting as an independent tonight, so we're cheering for him. We're cheering for them all, but from a MVRC point of view, we love to see Paddy up doing well.
Rocco is into pits. Let's see where he comes out. That's gonna be interesting. Grandpa Bear and J-Turn already overtook him. Rocco coming out at 7th position. And Drewface and Dan Lewis still not in pits.
Still not in the pits. We got Dan in the Back to the Future.
Yeah. Huh?
Dan must have had a moment. I didn't see him in the pits. He's down into P2. 16 seconds behind Drew.
Oh, absolutely. Oh.
He must have been in the pits. If he's got this floating bug, I'm sure you only get that when you're pitting.
Yeah.
So let's keep an eye on Drew now to see how much further he goes. That didn't come up on my screen that Dan had pitted.
I didn't see it either. And yet it's gonna be interesting. Drew with a mighty error. And going into pits now.
Right, let's see where he filters out. So it looks like they're on similar strategies. It just looks like Dan maybe just a bit quicker this week at this venue.
More power to him, and even better for the Automobilista 2 Community Cup because it mixes things up. Oh, that was a quick one. And no, he's still... Okay, it was quite a quick, but then retakes his first position.
So
now we're seeing
10, 11 seconds in front.
Yeah. Dan has won sometime.
The deficit by the looks of it. So he's halved the deficit.
So
he was about 10-11 seconds in front, wasn't he, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
And is now just 5.5 seconds in front. So Drew obviously was fuel saving.
Yeah, but still, great driving by Dan, who retakes first position.
Yeah, it's just a ride on ball with Jay Turn, Flying Hall Kick, and Grandpa Bear.
And it's getting dark.
Miss you at the moment, looking to score some good points, as is KCSR.
And to anyone in the broadcast, it's not your eyes, it's really getting dark. Because the server is set up so that, let me check, I had it somewhere. I had it somewhere. I think the race in simulated time takes 6 hours, and that's why we're going into the night. 10 hours.
Yeah, like Kevin Barber said, let's hope all of the drivers have mapped a button to their headlights.
Oh yeah, we had that already. There's one or two drivers who were driving in the dark because they had forgotten to map the button.
Oh really? Well, let's hope they don't make the same mistake.
Doesn't look like it for now. Headlights are not automatic. They have to be mapped. But I think that's a server thing, right? You can decide on the server if the lights are automatic or not, and so on. But truth to be told, it's been so long that I've driven at night on Automobilista 2, I would not be able to tell. And I hate this floating car.
Yeah, it's such a shame, isn't it? But I think Drew's is the same as well. I think he's floating.
Yeah.
Blank's okay. Grandpa Bear's okay. Yeah, it just seems to be the top two at the moment that are floating. And maintaining that gap. I think, like Dulla's put in my chat, that he thinks Drew will push hard now. But I don't know. I just think Dan is just. I think Dan's got Drew's number this week with this combo.
Could very well be. And by the way, all the battles that we were having have now calmed down. But of course, we are on the quiet zone. It's like with a hurricane. Many races are like a hurricane.
Yeah,
you have
calm before the storm, I think.
Yeah, exactly. You have a lot of storm at the beginning, then everyone settles down, they do their pit stops, blah blah blah, and then you come back to the storm at the end of the race, where they all know, okay, I have that and that much fuel, I can push now or I cannot push now. And especially with these cars, these strategies and the tires, it's gonna be interesting to see how much fuel and how much tires the drivers still have.
Can't believe how generous the track limits are, especially in the last chicane. When I was doing a bit of practice earlier on, I couldn't believe. I'm thinking, I went over it and thinking, this is definitely that's definitely a track cut, and then nothing came up. I was amazed.
Yeah, I mean, they are here, but especially with these cars, they need to be. Let's go to 9. Jin against Nessie, Nessie against Jin, battling for 9th position. And
Jin is guesting for LNR. He's another MVRC driver. So we wish him well and hope he scores good points for LNR.
Flying Hawkick is either in pits or he had a moment.
Yeah, Flying Hawkick and Nessie are both in the pits.
Okay, because I saw them drop down. What else do we have? Let's go to 17th and 18th. Shikats and Raptor. Oh, let's go to Drew. No, then to Grandpa Bear. Somebody is near somebody else. At least according to the data here. Yeah, Grandpa Bear.
Yeah,
there we go.
And J-Turn as well. Look, we've got a nice little battle going here as we get into the night.
I mean, Suzuka Kansai is not as scary as at night as others are. Like Misano at night is really scary, or Monza.
Tinez and Jin are battling as well. Look,
nice.
Like we said, Serto, it was the calm before the storm. We're starting to get the storm again.
Yeah, and that's good. Tinez takes Jin's position, gets into 8th. Drewface is 20 seconds away from Dan?
I think that's just jumping around. It's still only 8 seconds.
Okay. We have to check the data that Simham gets. Ike, if you're listening, get well soon and get into Simhub soon, because it's a little bit buggy. On the other hand, Ike is gonna have something to do quite soon, as we are getting very interesting hardware, and he's tasked to test it.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, get well soon, Ike. I'm sure your regular viewers will be excited to get Ike back commentating. I've loved guesting, and I'm looking forward to listening to the proper commentary.
Yeah. On the other hand, even if Ike is here, you can still come here and commentate with us. Absolutely no. No, you cannot, because Automobilista 2 only allows 2 people as. In a spectator position, right?
Hopefully, so I'll make the team in the next race.
Well, that's hoping for you, of course. And
hopefully, I did try my hardest to make this team, but
yeah, but I mean, 220 in these band of drivers who've been doing 216s and 217s. Wow, I mean, I have the chance of a snowballing hell to make it into any of these teams with those times.
I like the F3 car, so I'm hoping that I'll find a bit of pace.
Let me check again. It was the F3 at Spielberg. Okay, that's...
Yeah, the F309 Spielberg. I wish it was Spielberg Historic, because that is an immense track.
Yeah, that's a great thing from Reza. They do love historic driving. That's why they have, for example, the Porsche from 1974, and that's what why they have so many historic versions of the tracks, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, no other sim does historic content better than RSR, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's just great to see, and some of the historic tracks, obviously back in the day, the safety aspect wasn't such an issue. So, in my opinion, they're better tracks, the historic versions. But obviously, with safety and all the rest of it, it's it just tones down the excitement of the modern tracks of it, I think.
I mean, and you see the love they have for historic tracks, that they were doing Nordschleife. Then they got data for Südschleife, and they went and did that also, which was not planned, but hey, we got the data. And then they said, well, we have Nordschleife and Südschleife, so let's make Gesamtstrecke. So now you have the whole Nürburgring as it was at some point, with North, which still exists, and South. So it's impressive. And
we had our live lobby Sunday this week, MVRC. We had our Morocco around the Südschleife, and it was such a fantastic combo. And also with the historic content, especially at the Nordschleife, it's really nice. As much as we all like the modern Nordschleife and the graffiti on the track, it's really nice to see the track without any graffiti.
And as I was saying, they were not planning to do that, but they got the data and they said, okay, screw it, we're doing it because we like tracks. And I know that the one or the other release has been late because the track developers said, no, we need to correct 2 details that were wrong. And they got the time and they got the opportunity to do that. So it's a team that loves very much to do sim racing. They love racing. They love sim racing, and you see the passion for it in all these small details.
Oh, absolutely! I completely, utterly agree.
And by the way, when I was driving these cars around, just to be able to speak from experience for this race, the force feedback was so incredibly detailed. It was like, you notice how much work has gone into the last versions, that the cars now feel so incredibly good.
Yeah, so before the race, I've done some fun lobbies like I do most nights, and I was just saying, like, in my experience with the sims that I've driven, like iRacing, ACC, Automobilista 2, Project Cars 2, of all the sims that I drive, I don't think anyone does force feedback quite as good as RSR and AMS2, but like I say, I've not driven R Factor 2, so I can't speak to that. But of the sims that I've driven, I think AMS2 is head and shoulders, especially with the 1.4 update, then the 1.5 update,
and the 1.5.
We've got a physics update coming very soon in beta. It's just getting better and better and better.
Yeah, let's go to Tines and Freak, 8th and 9th. So things have calmed down a bit for now, but just a bit. I'm checking what else do we have. Let's check 17th and 18th, Raptor and She-Cat. She-Cat is further away than I thought.
And Flying Hall Kick, quite pretty close.
There was a motion wreck that we tested at the Sim Racing Expo, the Race at Home. We published it in one of the videos, that also does lateral movement, and it's so finely tuned that for the first time in a motion wreck the IMSIM motion rigs were near to that, but for the first time in a motion rig, I started listening to my body because I was getting information about the car through the very specific motion that this rig was giving me. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah,
That sounds amazing.
I mean, it's 15,000 euros, so yeah, but really it was great, a great motion rig, great, very well set up. Oh, who is that? Is that Freak? Yeah, Freak is getting very dangerous. Yeah.
Drop in on the Dan quickly. He just seems to be losing a bit of time.
Okay.
He's lost probably a second and a half there on Drew,
which still gives him a lot of time, but yeah. And it's interesting. This is the only one of all the cars that has these and Drew's are the two only cars that have the flying bug. Oh, and maybe Drew not anymore. Or is Drew's cars also floating? No, it's also
Drew's
floating.
also floating.
No, it's strange.
Dan's okay.
Yeah, I didn't see anything special in Dan Lewis driving that would say that.
I saw he was about 7.8 seconds up, and I just saw he lost a second in half a lap, and I was just a little bit concerned, obviously being the boss of Team MVRC. But something was up. But I'm absolutely thrilled for Dan. I really am. He puts a lot of time in, not just but he helps out the whole team, like with setup and stuff. So I'm absolutely thrilled for him if he can just bring this home.
Yeah, no.
And I'm trying not to be biased, but
on the other hand, you had such bad luck in the last race that it's great if now you can do first.
Because he had that disconnect as well, didn't he?
So. Yeah, like his whole USB tree disconnected all of a sudden.
Yeah, literally the whole lot. It weren't just his wheel; it was everything.
Yeah. Exactly, like the whole USB said, well, bye-bye. Oh, he had a moment there. And let's go to Tines and Freak once again. This is the closest battle that we have on the grid. We have a battle for 10th between Flying Hawkkick and Debline. We have a battle for 17th between She-Cats and Raptor. We have a battle for 20th between Savage Patty and Karazeda. So, lots going on.
Yeah, I think this is Dan coming round across the finish line to take the win. Absolutely fantastic, Dan. Well done. Drew Face just coming out. Let's get back to that battle with Freak and Tines.
So Dan Lewis takes first position, Drew second position. This is the first race of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup where Drew has not won. That's no small feat.
I'm absolutely grinning from ear to ear. I'm so elated for Dan racing. Grandpa Bear up into P3.
Nice.
Jay Turl in P4. Really good points again for AMSU.
Yeah.
Their drivers in the top 8.
So as I was saying, let me let's watch this battle for the end. Huh. Nice. And Tines keeps Freak at the back, but
Great battle.
Nice showing. I don't remember Freak seeing Freak racing before. I think it's his first race on the Automobilista 2 Community Cup, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's raced. I think it's his first race. So great showing, the top 10 there.
Yeah, absolutely. So for a moment, before the race, AMSU was 50 points away from KCSR, but now that they've made 3rd and 4th, while KCSR have made 2nd and 7th, I don't think they're going to be catching up. I don't have the calculations in mind, but they're going to be doing some damage there. That's good. So let's see, let me get into the Discord and see if we can get a couple of these guys to commentate.
Yeah, get him in, get him in.
Wait. Let's start with Dan. Oops, I'm on the wrong place. No, I have to do it differently. I'm gonna drop out for a minute here.
No
Be
problem.
back in a sec.
I was nowhere near you, sir. I'm really sorry that happened because I think we were up for a good race.
Yeah,
Hello?
I wouldn't have fought you anyway because you were very fast.
My FPS had tanked. I'm hoping that wasn't the cause of other people having low FPS because obviously me being the host. My FPS tanked and it was erratic. At one point, it just froze for half a second down 180R. Is it? It was scary at times.
Yeah, that half a second, I had it multiple times in one lap. It was very difficult to keep it on track.
If I may interrupt for a moment, Dan,
Of
Drew,
course, guys.
Grandpa, can you come to the commentator booth? Thank you very much.
Cheers, sir. So everybody else is welcome as well. If you want to lodge your ear in chat, that'd be good as well. Do as you like, guys. I hope you're.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back, Serta.
Trying to get Dan in here. Now, there he is. Hello, Dan. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, guys. That was a fun one.
It was, sorry to say, quite an easy one for you, right? Like you took the first place, and the only moment that you lost it was when you went into pits, and you didn't lose first place, so to speak.
Yeah, it was. I kind of deviated from my strategy a little bit. I was gonna kind of take care of the tires a little bit more, but they seemed to be holding on okay, even though they were orange. And I knew that they'd have the life in them to get halfway, so I just decided to push for all I had every lap.
Yeah, Metz was telling us that you are quite that you like these kind of cars, like these Porsches, a lot, which are a little bit nervous to drive.
Yeah, I like things with slip angle. I'm not too keen on. Well, recently I've sort of got into higher aero cars and started to understand that, but I'd always go back to a bit of slip angle and preferably handbrake if we could.
So you were planning on going with these tires the whole race, and then decided, no, let's push and let's change tires?
No, I always had the plan to change tires purely because it's a free change because they change at the same time as you fill. So my plan was if I was second, I was going to go for the undercut because I realized that the undercut is quite powerful in these cars. But yeah, I seemed to lose time to Drew in the pit, but I'd assume he took less fuel than me, knowing the way that he manages the fuel tank.
Absolutely. You lost, what was it, Metz? He lost about 9 seconds?
No, he was about 10.5, 11 seconds up before the pits, and I think he lost about 5 or 6 seconds. But we did say, Dan, I just want to say absolutely massive congratulations. Obviously, I wasn't biased at all in the commentary. But like, yeah, like we know, I mean, you know that Drew is the absolute master of fuel saving. So were you worried that you was pulling ahead quite so much in that first stint? I know that I said I think they're on completely different strategies, but when Drew pitted, I think a lap after you, I thought, do you know what? I think Dan's probably just got Drew's number in this with this combo.
Yeah, well, I'm well aware that Drew didn't have much time to practice this week, so I wouldn't say too much. But yeah, as soon as I seen him pit the lap after, I was quite happy, to be fair, because I did think that he was going to try and pull off the spectacular and go the full distance, or do something crazy that we all know he's capable of doing.
Yeah, I know. In the director's stream, like in my stream, like that, people were saying, like, are they on different strategies? If Drew wins from here, it's a master stroke. But like you say, Drew obviously didn't have a lot of practice. But once Drew had pitted, I kind of knew that he was on a similar strategy. But I just want to say massive congratulations, Dan. I know how much hard work you put into these races. And you've had some rotten luck in a couple of them, but it was a great race. It was a great race for MVRC. It's a great advert for AMS2 in general. So I just want to say a massive congratulations, mate, and all the MVRC team are absolutely going mad in our chat.
I haven't checked it out yet. I'll jump in. Hey, thanks, man.
Great racing. Congratulations on first position. And we got the for ones number 2, Drew. Congratulations on making second position. You're not accustomed to that position, right?
It's fine. It is what it is. First off, congrats to Dan. He had the pace. I didn't today. Just an illustration that, you know, if you are going to do races like this, you have to practice. You can't just come in half an hour before the race and hope you're going to win. I didn't have to pit the lap after Dan. I just decided to. I still had 4 laps of fuel left. I didn't change tyres. I stayed on the same set the entire race. I wasn't fuel saving. To be honest, I just wasn't really racing. I didn't have the pace to catch Dan, and I had too much pace to race P2 and P3 and P4. So to be honest, I just brought it home.
Incredible. He goes and says, well, but didn't have much practice. I made second because I was not able to race first, and then I decided I'm going to take it easy. Man, taking it easy with 2/16s on Suzuka. Yikes.
The only way I was going to win is if I got pole. And sadly, I did have my fast lap spoiled at 130R. There was a slow car right on the apex. Whether it would have been pole is negligible. Like my delta said 2.5 tenths, but to be honest, you can't really believe the AMS2 delta sometimes. So I suspect I still would have started P2. And to be honest, as soon as the race started, I knew P2 was probably going to be the only choice, the only option if Dan got a good start. And then,
which you did.
Yeah, I overfueled by 5 liters because again I didn't practice, didn't do my maths. So by not changing tyres and by overfueling 5 liters, I may have been a little bit closer. But to be honest, Dan had the pace today, so there was no way I was going to win.
Still, second position is a great position, but AMSU are going to be coming nearer to you guys now because they did, what was it? Third and fourth. Grandpa, congratulations on a third position.
Thank you very much.
And as I was saying, you are getting nearer and nearer to KCSR with a third and fourth position, and KCSR only, so to speak, second and seventh. I have not done the maths in my head, but I think you're not going to be able to overtake KCSR yet. But on the other hand, you're getting nearer. You had 50 points. They were 50 points ahead before the race. I think that you've taken a big bite out of that.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think KCSR are going to run away with it because Drew is just an alien. Well done, Drew. Well done, Dan. It was we can hope for second, best of the rest, so to speak. I think it was a really good race, and as Drew was commenting on, I think practice really does pay off.
Yeah, and you are starting to make trains, like the AMSU train is starting to be a thing to look after. Like for a while, you were all three, like you, Jay, and Tina's all behind each other.
Yes, I did notice that. Yes, just before Tinez pitted. It was good to be together. Yes. I was a bit of a bad start, and I think I got the undercut on Mr. Turn in the pits, so I was quite pleased with that. I think I also got Rocco, I think. So yes, very pleased, and it's great to have the team with me and supporting me. So yeah, it's a fantastic effort from the team. Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations, Grandpa Bear. Congratulations, Drew. Grandpa Bear, like we saw, and we was watching when Dan pitted and Drew pitted a lap after, and Drew's just said that he didn't need to pit then. He could have gone for another 4 laps or so. How did you find the tyre wear? Was it trying to keep it as smooth as you possibly can, or how did you find that?
Oh, the rears. Trying to push for under 218s. I don't know what the other 2 lads were, Drew and Dan were trying in their 16s, but just trying to stay in the 217s. The rear tyres were glowing orange, so it was definitely a tyre management race for me. But the smoother I could take the corners and could be in the race, then obviously the better the tyres were. I did take tyres in the pits. It was always my strategy.
Yeah, Drew. I think Drew said he didn't change tyres. He stayed on the same tyres. He said like Dan just had the pace on him tonight, but Drew didn't have a lot of practice, if any at all. I know he came into the MVRC Discord and said he don't think he's going to get any practice. It's going to be literally on the day jobby. Did you and Jay Turn and Tinez and the AMSU team did you practice hard for this one as it was your choice?
Yes, very much so. We spent several hours on the practice server together, and I think due to work commitments, etc., we spent our own separate time there. But yes, I think over the last 2 weeks, I spent a good 20, 30 hours on the practice server, yeah.
Well, it certainly paid off, mate, and AMSU are becoming the team consistent, aren't they, with their little trains developing during the races?
Absolutely. It's very interesting to see and very nice to see. So congratulations to Dan for first, Drew for second, Grandpa for third. Congratulations also to all the communities. Thank you very much for being here. And Matt, any famous last words?
Yeah, just obviously, come on, Dan. Well done, mate. I'm really pleased for you. But just echoing what you were saying, we witness with these races the absolute cream of the AMS2 community, and it's an absolute joy to watch them. And a thank you to you, Serta, for inviting me back to
anytime, mate.
To step in, and thank you to all of your listeners for putting up with me.
So, next race is at the 8th of November, F3s, F309s at Spielberg Modern. Don't miss it. And until then, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other at the podium. Man, what a day I'm having.